Good evening. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Wethersfield Planning and Zoning Commission. Our first order of business will be roll call of commission members, and I'm going to ask our Anthony Homicki to call the roll.
Good evening, all. Commissioner Hamner.
Here.
Commissioner Lambroni.
Here.
I'm here. Commissioner Brecklin.
Here.
Commissioner Deane.
Here.
Commissioner Drake is not here. Commissioner Edwards is not here. Well, you are here, next to me. How's that for a start? Commissioner Giaffrino.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts is not here. Commissioner Orcolini.
Here.
Commissioner Laurie.
Here.
And Commissioner Thompson is not here.
Okay, so we have a total of 9 with alternates, so alternates, you will participate on everything. We have 2 public hearing items tonight. For people who are here on those tonight, the way we do those procedurally is we begin by having the applicant go up to the podium over there, identify yourself with your name and address. You have a chance to explain what it is that you're seeking through your application. The commission members will have a chance to ask you questions. If there is anyone from the public at that time, they'll have an opportunity to ask a question or make a comment. Once we close the hearing, we cannot take any more information from you, the applicant, or any member of the public. And we will decide at the conclusion of the presentation whether the commission feels it has enough information to close the hearing. The first item is public hearing 2220-25, Ready Imaging, seeking special permit in accordance with the Wethersfield Zoning Regulations for a master sign plan and sign exception at 1780 Berlin Turnpike. Is the applicant here? If you could come on up and identify yourself for the record.
My name is Chris Howalker from Ready Imaging, 169A Progress Drive, Manchester, Connecticut.
Okay, and please go ahead and explain the nature of the application.
Absolutely. So we are proposing a master sign plan with an exception. This is for 1780 Berlin Turnpike. It's currently a Sunoco gas station, and we are proposing to change it to a Shell gas station. So for the sign exception that we are requesting, right now he has a price sign that is hidden by the Connecticut DOT when they went in and did all the streetlight upgrades on the Berlin Turnpike. So his current sign is basically right next to where the street pole is, so it's not very visible. So because of that, we would like to move it to the other side of the property and also make it taller to match the gas station across the street, the mobile. So for our main ID sign, we would like to increase the height to 16 feet and also slightly increase the square footage of it and make it a LED. On our proposal, we list all the square footage of the sign. And in addition to the sign exemption, we would also like to reface the canopy. So the canopy will remain the same size. We are simply covering up the Sunoco with new ACM panels, and it will have 2 Shell pectins, which is the Shell logo on each side of the canopy, and also red illuminated light bar on 3 sides of the canopy. For the gas station pumps, we'll be rebranding them from Sunoco to Shell. So that scope of work includes new valances, which go on top of the dispenser, new lower doors, which replace where when you walk up to a dispenser, you see the word Sunoco, that'll replace with a Shell logo, and also miscellaneous regulatory decals that the state requires. And lastly, on our site plan that we provided the commission, you will see, if you're looking at where 1770 Berlin Turnpike is, you can see where the existing sign is. It is basically in the corner, and then we are basically moving it across the property adjacent to the neighboring unit within the DOT setbacks and also within any other town setbacks that are required.
So you're moving it from the south corner to the north corner, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Any other comments at this point? I know our town planner had asked a question in his memo to us, a number of questions. One of them was whether or not there'd be any audio sounds coming out of the pumps.
There will not be.
Okay. I guess I just have one question for our planner is, do our sign regulations deal specifically with LED type signs currently?
Yeah, I was, well, they deal with brightness and intensity and flashing lights. So that's when I have to look. I want to make sure. I wasn't aware that the canopy was lit, so maybe we could pause and explain and understand that a little bit more. I want to make sure that that's within our regulations. And then maybe one other thing. I didn't realize the full size of the freestanding sign was also a request for the exception. I knew that the height was, but, and I don't expect you to know these answers. I need to know them and I will look them up. But do you know what the total square footage is that is permitted and what you're proposing?
I believe what's permitted is 24 square feet, and we're proposing 27.4 square feet.
Okay. And that sign, just to make sure, I was getting ready for this evening's meeting too, to make sure. So the maximum height for a regular detached sign is 10 feet for a fuel. This is going to be the fuel price change sign. Is that right? The primary sign. So, okay. And those letters, I assume, are also LED?
Yes.
And do they alternate from
Cash
cash to credit?
Yep.
Do they have any type of video depiction or anything streaming? Okay.
Nope, it changes price approximately every 8 to 9 seconds.
Okay. So 27.40, is that in compliance, or does that require some type of a
Where do you see that? Oh, the,
square footage of that sign?
yeah, so the square footage would require an exception as well,
And
which...
we are able to.
Right, and so just for the commission's benefit, and this, I think, we're receiving another one of these where they're just doing a modernization. So a lot of the gas stations will require their tenants or their lessees, I'm not exactly sure, to upgrade their branding. And so, for example, the gas station right in the corner here, I think, was it the Horse? They're going to be coming through soon. You know, I think that's, I don't think it's Citgo, but they're also going to be coming through with another sign program. And then looking at the regulations, the closest thing I could found was a master sign program, because it's all in one. It's all of the pump signs, it's the canopy signs, it's the directional signage. But in the regulations, a master sign plan reads as though it could be for a comprehensive sign of a multi-tenant plaza, like Gothbrook Plaza. But this was the closest thing that fit as well. So when one business is doing all the signs, so it was the closest thing I could find for one type of permit. Master sign permits are approved by special permit, but in this case, this applicant also wanted a exception to the sign height, which also would require a special permit. So just for my own benefit and to let everyone know, that's why the applicant's here before us. If there has been a prior practice in years ago where this would happen as something other than a master sign plan, please let me know. But no one could direct me to that sort of a process.
And I just wanted to follow up on a question you had asked earlier, Dave. So under the canopies, is the lighting on the ceiling of the canopy facing the ground, basically? And is that all directed straight down so that it doesn't drift off the site?
For the light bar specifically, it's about a 1 inch by 1 inch cube that goes around 3 sides of it, and that illuminates red. It doesn't really give off much light down, up, or out. It's more just cosmetic.
The red is on the outside of the
Correct.
canopy, and then within the canopy, on the bottom of the canopy, there are white lights.
Correct. Yep, for nighttime purposes.
Those directing into the canopy-covered area, basically?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And those are staying as is. We're not replacing those.
Oh, you're not?
No. We're
Okay.
just doing the, basically the outside of the canopy, the skin of it.
Okay. All right, why don't we start with Anna and just go around and see if people have questions? Tracy, do you have any questions?
I'm confused about the red lights that go around three sides. I just don't see that on the diagram. Is that what this red, it looks like a red line. Are you saying that those are red lights?
It's
Looking on page 5 of 6, the proposed, right here. Yeah, that is red light. Okay.
Timing.
Yeah, so on the fascia itself, it's 4 inches and 3/4 red, and then there's that 1-inch light bar that goes on the top of the red to illuminate it.
Okay. Now I understand.
What are the hours of operation, 24/7?
I don't know, unfortunately.
Hey, Tony?
So the size will be 24.7 square feet,
Correct.
and the height again was 16?
16 feet, yep.
16. For a town planner, I think this has gone before design review. Are there any questions or concerns?
It did not. They did approve it without stipulations. No, yeah,
Okay.
it was approved. Yep.
Right to the point, cut and dry.
Peter?
There was a comment by the town planner about a possible obstruction from the sign. You're relocating it. Can you ensure to us that there is no obstruction for sight lines where it's going to be, where it's proposed right now?
Correct. We moved it back enough off the road to make sure that traffic going each way will not be impaired by it.
Okay, thank you.
With regards to the sign that you want to have to notify potential customers as to the pricing procedure, that's the sign you want to have, you want to exceed what our current requirements are, and therefore have an exception in terms of both sign height and square footage. Will that obstruct the view from the highway from people who are going in that particular direction to see signage or features of other businesses basically downwind from where you're intending to put that sign?
I don't believe so. Based on where it is on the property, you do have that neighboring building, but all his signs are further back off the road.
Is the square footage of the sign, you're trying to compete with the mobile station across the street, as I understand it, and therefore you're trying to get your height increased to compete with the mobile sign. Is your sign the same size as the comparable mobile sign?
Yes, I believe it's actually smaller. We're the ones doing replacing that mobile sign as well. So when I went to, because that sign was hit by a car accident, so it was knocked over. So we're in the process of redoing that mobile sign. So yes, it is to compete with the mobile. However, the Sunoco also recently added diesel, so he wants to have his diesel price shown on the main ID as well to promote that he has diesel.
Okay, so basically the additional square footage for this sign is to indicate the diesel pricing as well as the petrol pricing.
Correct.
With regards to the type of pumps, from what I saw in the materials that were presented, those pumps are pretty much the new style pumps that are quite sophisticated, that have built-in advertisements and notifications and so forth. But you said it's silent. It's
Correct. You have the option to turn them on or off.
Okay, that's one of the things I want. For my own predilection, being one that's, fuels my vehicle myself, when I come up to a station with these newfangled pumps, I find myself getting very distracted and very difficult to pay attention and not really being able to fully concentrate on what my real intention is for that. I think it's an insult to your customers to have that kind of distractive advertisement or capitalistic propaganda being promulgated right in the faces of your customers. And I just thought, it doesn't affect my vote on your application, but I find it to be quite offensive.
I agree.
And if you can convey that to your masters, that would be.
Absolutely, yeah, I'll let the owner of the site know.
Hey, Chris?
I was just curious, and I don't know if this is a question for you or for David. Is there notice required for any neighbors, like the houses over there? Is there notice required for the special permit like there would be normally?
Yes, just, yep.
Okay, so any of the abutting property owners would have had the opportunity to come in? Okay. And then is that notice affected by the fact that the initial permit was for height and not for total square footage?
No, the notice was for a master sign plan and a sign exception.
Okay.
So, and they don't get a copy of the application, so you see the specific in the application, but the notice just says the location of the public hearing, the subject property, and then the sections.
And then, so these are all LEDs, all the lights, both on the, it says LED, I'm just double checking that
Yep.
they're, so they don't like make any buzzing or anything?
No.
Right? Okay. That's all I have, thanks.
No? So I think, Dave, I just want to make sure that we understand where all their statistics fall under our regs and what complies and what would need a waiver. So you were just showing me that there's another provision that deals with the maximum area of the portion of the sign that changes, which here would be the numerical price portion, right?
Right. So, right, and that regulation is not more than 50% of the sign, of the total sign area can be comprised of that area that changes. So the changeable area cannot exceed 50% or
12 square feet, whichever is less.
And so if the total sign area, I think you said is, what did you say was
27.
27.4.
27.4?
The 12 would be the applicable.
Right, so the manual change portion of the sign cannot exceed 12 square feet.
Okay.
Can you tell us what the square footage would be just on the price portions of the sign that'll change?
Probably have to do math on the fly, but the total sign area, the shell symbol itself is going to be part of that sign area, so.
Are you referring just to the digit size, or would you calculate the entire cabinet?
I think what we were talking about first is just the digitized portion, correct?
Well, we need to confirm that the digitized portion is not larger than 12 square feet. So if you want to come over here, I'll show you what we just want to confirm this. So the regulations read that this changeable area cannot be 50%, not be more than 50%, or 12 square feet, whichever is less. So we would need to understand that this area is not larger than 12 square feet, or that it is not greater than 50% of the total sign area. I know this would be hard to calculate because you'd have to cut out. Do you follow me on that?
Yeah.
So it's like saying that this was the old one, right? So
Yeah,
this
so
area-
basically you're considering the whole price base to be changeable.
Correct.
Okay, not
Right.
just the digit size.
Whatever that portion is that changes.
Okay,
So
so like, if there's a toggle right here, it's kind of hard to see in the picture, that goes cash credit, so that would be included, because that's
Yes,
like a 4-inch toggle.
correct.
And then these are 8-inch digits.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Changeable area, whatever that area is that can change. So we want to confirm, I know, so just for the record, I know you stepped away, so sounds like you're agreeing that you can make that,
Absolutely.
if it's not already the case, that you
Correct.
can already make, okay.
Yeah, we can slightly shrink it, and that should get us right down to, if it's 27 square feet, I believe the stop and save in shell, if you look at it, that's about 14 square feet. So I think right now it's 13 square feet, but we can shrink that slightly to get it down to 12 feet.
Okay. And then the other question I had was, just the lighting on the canopy, and I apologize, I know you were answering this, but I was looking. So it's going to be externally illuminated. So as you drive up and down the Berlin Turnpike, you will see sort of a red.
Correct.
Okay. So I did not note this in my memo, but we do have regulations for sign illumination, and they're supposed to be turned off during non-operating
Absolutely.
hours. So I'm going to suggest if the commission chooses to approve this or act on this, that they add the stipulation that all illumination for the application must comply with our illumination section, because there are some standards in there that I'm not an expert on, but we'd want to make sure that we have the ability to enforce that once, that there's actually lights there. And that is, I'd be happy to provide that, but I think it's section illumination subsection. Let's say it's L, but that sounds too, it is L, sign illumination, L for lighting. So we want to make sure that the application complies with section 6.3 L for illumination. That would give us the ability to continue to review it for compliance.
Do you have what you need for us to be able to know what requires the adjustment under
Well, it would
the
be for the
regs?
size, so 24 is permitted. He's requesting an exception for
7.4, I
so
think it says. on the
3.4, and then and then it would be for the
Height?
for the total height, right? And the
16
request is for
versus
16, where 10 is required. 10 is the maximum for a detached sign, but 8 for in the regulations it says 8 for the manageable. I did not realize that the freestanding sign was also the changeable sign, and the maximum height of that is 8 feet. So the exception would be to allow 16 where 8 is.
That's double. That's a
Double the height.
Yeah.
pretty considerable. Doesn't any of this have to go to the DOT because of where it is?
Well, it's outside of the DOT right away, but so.
Is it outside the right of way only after it gets moved back?
Well, it was moved from, my understanding, the applicants can say, but the DOT actually voluntarily undertook their own project, which moved the sign.
Oh, okay.
I think the question for the DOT would be, does it require, is it impacting the sight lines at all? That would be my concern, honestly, from the DOT's perspective. We wouldn't know until, and the DOT won't look at it until after they were to get approval from us.
And if we approve it and they determine that it does impede, what happens then?
They'd have to
Have to
to
come
us
back.
with whatever
They have to come
adjustment.
back and adjust it,
Yeah,
even though we've approved it.
correct. It would be a modification to a special permit.
Do we know what other gas stations are doing up and down the Silas Deane as well as the Berlin Turnpike? I mean, this is roughly double what our regulations require. I mean, it's not 10%, it's not 20%, it's 100%. Are we setting a precedence that's not a good direction to go? That's the only concern I have. What is out there? Do we know? Is this way out of norm with anybody else, or have others done this in the past and we've allowed it? I don't know,
Maybe the applicant knows.
Yeah, if you look at the mobile further down the street, the Oakland Fresh Market that recently underwent significant amount of work, he had a non-conforming pre-existing sign, and the town did allow us to update the sign to a twin pole instead of a single pole because we did reduce the square footage, but the sign is, I believe, 18 feet tall.
And it was previously non-conforming?
Correct.
And this is in Newington or in Wethersfield? Which
In
side?
Wethersfield.
That side
That's the
is also
Cumberland Farms?
Wethersfield?
No, further down.
Oh, okay. Do you know how tall that Cumberland Farm sign is?
Right off the highway?
It's diagonally across down going toward Newington, heading south. So it's on the southbound side.
I believe that is only 6 or 8 feet tall. Are we talking about different
Let me
companies?
show you a picture, yeah. That's pretty much across the street.
Oh, I was thinking you were talking about the one right off the highway. Yeah, that one is taller.
That's the Cumberland Farms one, is there?
How tall does it look?
Almost the height of the, at least from this time, you're down, but pretty tall.
And just for the commission and anyone else, so a nearby location that we're looking at is the recently, or not recently, but not too old Cumberland Farms.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, sorry, I'll say it near the mic in case
Yeah,
there's
no,
anybody
sorry.
watching or anything. But I think that's still within Wethersfield, right? That's still
Yeah.
in Wethersfield there. So the Cumberland Farm sign is the 2 poles, and it's somewhat similar, and I imagine it changes, and I think the lettering is actually bigger
Correct.
than what's proposed here.
I think that's, I was just going to mention the reason why we probably don't see the individual sign permits like this one is because they're normally site plans where we're seeing the
Right.
full reconstruction of the site, so the signs are a part of it versus this is, and we're going to see, I think this is the first of 3. So I think there's 2 more that I'm aware of that will be coming soon. So these are good section of the regs to understand, so.
And the 2 more that are expected to come are just signs?
Rebranding or modernization, I think they're called. One of them might get more complex. It might be a site plan because it involves operations of how vehicles use the site. But it started off with just the sign re-imaging or rebranding campaign.
All right, I'm just going to, anyone in the audience who'd like to speak on this application? No? Okay.
I just have one more question, because I
Yes.
was looking about the electronic changeable signs. That does say, I don't know if it says this for anything requiring a special permit in business zones, that it shall be equipped with a programmed to have automatic dimming capability that adjusts the brightness during the times of day. So is that sign will have that? Okay.
Absolutely. So sign's technically the brightest during daytime, and then at night it has a built-in dimmer on it. So as it gets darker out, the digits actually do get darker.
Any other questions by the commission members? And Dave, I guess I just want to make sure that you're comfortable that you've had an adequate opportunity to determine, each section that applies, and that there is either compliance or the need for us to grant an adjustment. So that, do you have enough info to be able to tee all of that up, basically, for purposes of a motion? I mean, we've talked.
Yes, I do, but I just to be candid and clear, because the sign regulations include lighting, sizing, they're double-faced. This is a case where I would suggest we condition the approval that it does need to comply with the regulations, so that in moving, I am not an electrician or a sign expert, but I want to make sure if we see building permits come in, because the building permits will also come in. So after this approval, if approved, we'll see building permits. Those permits get reviewed. We do have an electrician who generally looks at our lighting plans. They may see something that I don't. And I want to make sure that if we approve this, that we have the ability to make sure that whatever they submit complies with our regulations. So I realize that's a bit general, but I would feel better just saying, if the commission wants to approve, that they approve.
6.3L?
Did all 6.3L, that covers all the things you're talking about?
That's the lighting. Yes, please, yep, so certainly the illumination, thank you very much. But then,
Yeah.
in terms of the sign exception, I would like to be clear enough to say the commission is entertaining an application that would grant the exception for the location of the freestanding changeable sign, and also increase the permitted square footage of 24 square feet to 3.5 to 27.4 square feet.
And 16 feet
And also
versus,
increase the height.
And yes,
16 feet versus 8, I think you said, right?
correct. So a height exception, a location exception, and 3.5 square feet size exception. Get 'em?
Why is it that the top the top portion with the numbers on the sign is almost 1 foot, 10 inches in top to bottom measurement, whereas the one below is 10 inches.
The toggle, the cash credit toggles is directly above the regular price.
Oh, that's where it says cash or credit?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
And
is-
that toggles for both diesel and regular price.
Right, but is there something else in here that also, Dave, regulates the height of those letters in section L
yeah,
or
it is.
elsewhere?
I think it said 15 inches.
I thought I saw 15 inches somewhere as well.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Get in that section. So, all right, any other? And I guess just, Peter, you brought up a good point in terms of, are we setting a precedent? And I think Dave in his memo even said what can be pointed to across the street is not necessarily determinative
Exactly.
of this. But I do think this is an area where we want to be cautious, I guess, in terms of not setting a precedent, as you say, that we're going to have, very,
Double
very
the size,
tall.
yeah,
And double, when you say double the size,
height,
the height, the 16 versus the 10.
8. 8 is required, 16 is what they're asking for.
That's correct, sorry.
Yeah, so the letters themselves cannot exceed 15 inches in height.
So do we also need to track that? Because that's not set forth in section L to make sure that that's in compliance?
See what it says, this is measure. So 1 feet.
Yeah, it
Seems to
doesn't
me
look
everything's
like- It looks like
violated.
it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is a complete
A lot of
application,
details
yeah.
are being
Yeah, I guess
violated.
that's my impression on this,
Yeah.
is it just seems like we should have had a more thorough review for
Yeah.
our benefit before it got here.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm really questioning whether whether we are comfortable acting on this tonight, because we shouldn't have to be, pecking and searching to determine what's in compliance and what's not, or leaving anything to chance for later. Just out of curiosity, are you at any particular, dire urgency here if this were to continue until our October 7th meeting?
No, I will be back October 7th for the golf gas station right across the street, so.
Much more thorough.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking the basic things about knowing, what, the 15-inch, for example, And can we handle that as a condition of approval for later, or should we be dealing with it now?
Can we also
Say
get
you're
in?
coming back in 2 weeks?
Or another application?
Another application?
Or another gas station sign?
That's
Yeah.
what I thought I heard.
But this one's a little easier because there's no price sign. So it's just for the canopy.
But it doesn't harm your project if this
No,
one
he
goes
does
to more
want to,
weeks?
Shell is pushing us to rebrand it. However, we also understand that the town.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, I guess I'd love to have staff have the chance to look at it and tee up for us exactly what it is we need to waive, and not be trying to string it together when we're sitting here at this table. Does that make sense to others?
Does make sense.
All right, with that said, then I guess my suggestion is going to be we keep the public hearing open and continue it to our next meeting. That way the applicant will have a chance
Need
to
a motion to
speak.
continue?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to continue this meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, and what's the date of the next meeting, October 7th?
Over 7.
So this will be 7 o'clock on
Perfect.
October 7th, and we'll see you there on whatever else you have as well.
Sounds good. Thank you
Motion
guys
has
for
been
your
made
time.
and seconded to continue it to our next meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
If I could, just before you leave, because I think it'll make it more efficient, if you could please go through the regulations and
Yeah.
identify specifically what requests for exceptions you will need.
Okay.
helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank
You
you
want me
very
to
much.
email that to you?
That would be great. Yes,
Okay.
please. Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, next is public hearing 2221-25, Kevin Bukowski seeking a special permit of the Wethersfield Zoning Regulations for a shed over 200 square feet at 65 Northbrick Lane. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Kevin Bukowski, 65 Northbrick Lane. Essentially, we're the red house at the end of the cul-de-sac on Northbrick Lane. It started off as wanted to do a shed-type garage, even though it's not going to be used as a garage. It's going to look like a shed garage, I'll call it, for storage. Went before the Historic Society, because I'm in the old Wethersfield district. Went through that process, put a submittal package together, essentially matching the existing house. Was able to pull out all the records from the previous owner, what roof, window, siding. So essentially this garage shed will emulate the house, identical to the house. If you were looking on Google Earth per se, being the last house in that cul-de-sac, my neighbor has a detached garage. It will emulate his down in that be the left-hand corner of the end of the cul-de-sac. We put about off the perimeter 5 feet off the back and the side. Other than that, we'll get, we'll do the stone preparation of the pad, and we have a local builder in Berlin that was nice to work with in putting this project together, because he was open and willing to use the materials that were already previously approved on this shed, where most shed companies weren't willing to play ball, so to speak, is, what you see is what you get. So that was a quite cumbersome project just alone to find the right builder. But other than that, not looking for any lights, driveway, power, just essentially placing it back in the far corner.
So it's 336 square feet where 200 are
Yes.
allowed, correct?
Correct. That's why I'm here, because they said when I was at the Historic Society doing that, they said I would have to come here after, because it's bigger than a standard shed.
And what would you use the shed for?
Essentially, the lawnmower, snow blower, bicycles, everything that's in my current garage to get out so I can park my car in the real garage.
And I couldn't tell from your plan, is your current garage under the house?
Under the house, yes.
Okay.
So that acts as my shed that I can't park a car in.
Okay. Anna?
Any questions?
Tracy?
No, I'm good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Dave? Tony?
You meet the sideline and the setbacks for the application, was it 6 feet, more than 5 feet?
Yeah, whatever you guys want. If you want to put stipulation, 6 feet, 5 feet, I don't know what the exact one is, but I'll adhere to whatever you need it to be.
You won't have a 16-foot high canopy or any lighting?
Nope. And
Mostly Sunoco on it?
and no LED lights.
No, like,
No red lights.
Peter, do you have anything?
So your current garage is a single garage, right? That
Correct,
you
under
drive-
the
So that's
house.
what you want to get clear, right? So you can put your car in there.
Yep.
Does anybody calculate it's probably not a problem, but just to be thorough, what percent of the lot does this take?
I think it said
20
22%. I think you had it at.
22% total for structure coverage.
Oh, we're okay. All right, that's fine.
Tom?
Just to kind of review here in terms of what the accessory structure requirements are, you're going to locate this in the rear yard?
Correct.
Okay. As I understand from your testimony, you haven't calculated the distance from the rear and side lot lines, but the standard is for a minimum of 5 feet from either of those lines. So that would be a requirement for you that
Easy-
we're not
easy enough.
likely to waive. The height of this shed is less than 18 feet?
Yes.
Okay. And from my calculation, from the materials, the shed is 12 by 24.
Correct.
My calculations mean that that's 288 total square feet.
Correct.
I think it's
that's-
336, Tom.
388?
336.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
was it
14
14
by
by
24?
24?
14 by 24.
Oh, 14 by 24.
336.
Yep.
Okay. So it's 366?
336.
All right. That's a bit over 100 square feet large in width. So that's the primary waiver or approval that you're looking for.
Correct,
It's
correct.
beyond our standards. Okay, and this, you will not exceed, or not exceed 2 accessory buildings on your site?
Meaning,
Is this the only accessory building on your site? Or would
correct,
be?
correct. There's no other mini sheds or.
Okay, so, all right. So essentially, all of the requirements except for the size, you're meeting in terms of conformity to our standards.
Correct, correct.
Thank you.
Chris?
I imagine you've been through quite a lot of stuff with working with neighbors and talking to the HDC, so I think in general, I don't have any other questions, so.
Joe?
Thank you.
So this is on the left side of your property, right?
Correct. If you're looking at the front facade to the left.
So I drove down there, so you'd be able to see this from the road.
Yes, if you drove all the way down to the
Yeah, all the
end.
way down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You did say no vehicle's going to be in that?
Correct. No vehicles.
Any thought of putting a fence up, or?
If you're looking at the front facade, to the left, my neighbor has the detached garage.
Right.
It's going to emulate his.
It is, okay.
Yep. And he's got a fence that's in between.
Right, I saw that.
Between us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Peter?
Again, just for clarity here, you have a plot plan that's stamped by a land surveyor that shows it to be 6 feet on your side yard and 6 feet on your backyard. Is that how you intend to locate it, just like this plot plan?
Yes, like that plot plan. At the time, we didn't know it was 5 feet or 6 feet. I didn't know what it was. I came up with the 6 feet. I think you guys were at 5, so.
No, you plan on doing 6 and 6 like this plot plan did?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, any further questions? Yes.
Do you have any electricity or lighting that's going?
No LEDs, nothing, so I'll be good.
Not changing prices.
I'll note for the record, there are no members of the public present, only the applicant at this point, so no public comments. Any other questions, staff?
I would just, in Wethersfield, which is great, we're the building department, and we will let people reuse plot plans as much as we can when we have them, but are you able to locate your property pins so that when you have this located, you can confirm where it's located?
I believe there is a pin in the, I know for sure from the far right back corner that I could pull off of, but I believe in the corner where there's 3 different fences from 3 different neighbors meeting. I know necessarily a fence doesn't mean a property line, but I believe there is a metal pin that where all those neighboring fences come to is the pin that I can pull off of. That's when I did my rough layout, when I started pulling strings. That's where I came off of.
Yeah, I just encourage you to try to use those pins because if approved, the commission and the town will approve what you propose. So if for any reason there was a problem in the future, you would have to bring it into compliance with this if it isn't already. So that's why if you don't have a new survey, you want to just make sure you can find your pins.
Pins, understood.
Anything further from the applicant?
Nope, unless you guys have any more questions, I think it was relatively cut and dry.
Okay, if there's no more questions, would someone like to make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Tom, is there a second? Second by Peter. Would someone now like to make a motion on the application?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval of application number 2221-25-Z, 65 Northbrick Lane, for a special permit for 14 by 24-foot shed per section 3.6.C, accessory buildings or structures of the Wethersfield Zoning Regulations, as presented by the applicant.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
By Tracy. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Application is approved.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
All right, moving on, I think is,
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just have a quick question about, in the future, is this the last one?
yes.
Of these?
It should be because the effective date of the switching, the new reg that switched it to ZBA was after the date by a few days that this application was
A
filed.
very historic moment then.
I think so, yes. And I guess we've talked about how the ZBA is going to have to amend their form so that.
I did, and I did speak with Rita Ann, I forget her last name at the moment, but the chairperson of ZBA, and I have a meeting with her later this week talking
Great.
about those changes.
Great.
So they are, and apparently, she said they have been following along the deliberations of this commission, so they've been aware.
Okay, excellent. Minutes, we have the August 19th minutes first. Would someone like to make a motion on those?
Motion to approve?
By Tony, is there a second?
Second?
By Tom. And if there's no comments on those, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Tracy, abstention, okay. And then the next ones are number 3rd, thank you. Somebody like to make a motion on those?
Not everyone was here for that one, so if
Yeah.
you read them, state so for the record if you're part of the motion to approve.
Right, otherwise we only have 3 of the people who were at that meeting are here tonight.
I read through
Yeah,
them,
and
so I'm comfortable.
I have as well, and I'm comfortable.
Read it through 'em.
Okay,
For that.
all right, well,
Who was here?
it was only of the people who are here now and were there, Tom and Tracy and Joe.
One of them could make a motion to,
I move to approve the minutes from September 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion, and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to
Any-
abstain.
Abstentions, Chris and Anna
Myself
abstain.
as well.
I'm sorry, you too?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. All right, minutes are approved. And what else have we got? Public comments? No members of the public here. Correspondence?
None.
None. And then we've got staff reports.
I have no reports to give.
Okay. Reports. And then for our next meeting, it's just a continuation of the Mill Woods.
Correct.
Okay.
And now the sign proposal, the sign application that we continued.
Right. And the earlier applicant mentioned that he was going to be back at our next meeting. Is
If so, that's, I was out for a few days at the end of last week, but I was not aware we had a pending application.
okay.
So
Okay.
that was news to me.
Okay. And I guess I would just say, since we had a bare minimum of 5 people for the first session of the Millwoods application, I was not here for that either. What I did is I watched the video tape, which to me is sort of the best way to get a flavor of things, but I would urge people to do that before the next meeting so that we're sure we have enough who are able to participate on that when it comes back. Anything else, Dave?
That's
If
all.
not, would someone like?
any additional items on the agenda for that application?
Other than that,
The issue on the noise and any other concerns that might come in?
Well, I've received lots of comments, both for and against. And I've received some literature from both internal and external interested parties about noise studies. And yeah, so I do have some more information. I also don't want to I don't want to bombard the commission with links and reports. So I do have some additional documentation.
are you going to?
Dave, I have a question, though. Something that Commissioner Drake was hammering that night about overcrowding of the park, you know?
I'm just going to say, Joe, we really shouldn't get into the substance of the application tonight because we're
Oh,
not
okay.
in the public hearing. But I do think it is important that staff provide us with any new information that you have, generally speaking, and especially anything that goes to the questions that were asked. at the last meeting. I think if you can distribute that to us.
Yeah, no,
in advance.
maybe just to be clear, is that there clearly were some remaining questions from both the public and the commission about noise, and we needed a better understanding of the noise, so I have been doing some research and trying to identify information about noise and pickleball, and so I intend to provide that and make it available for everyone who's interested in the public hearing. It'll
Okay.
be posted online too.
Okay, great. All right, if there's nothing,
Can I just make one quick request about the sign? If we can, if it's possible, if we have any records on the height of the other two similar gas station signs, because there's the one at that mobile and the one at the Cumberland Farms, that are they within the 8 foot, or are they taller too, so that we're not adding something higher and then there's a race for height and stuff like this? If we can get any additional information for that, it'd be helpful.
all right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Peter, second by
Second?
Anna, you had your hand up. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, any
By
abstentions?
leading the corner.
Thank you.